Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Lux Anguis, and I welcome you to partake in my sojourn of my own initiatory trials going through chokmah, but also due to my own true will and the need for my own evolution, at the same time also through the klipot, and some secrets or some knowledge that is not very widely known, but it's very rewarding, to say the least, to be aware of it. And it serves to inspire you. It serves to remind you that the path that you're walking is your path, and that it is very important that you embrace it. You do not follow all the time orders or recommendations or structures from other individuals or even system, but your own. So this video and this journey in my own recording of it shall serve these purposes of inspiration, enlightenment, motivation, and realignment to your own self. So thank you for your awareness, thank you for your attention, and let's get into it. So when I was going through or going into chokmah from Binah to chokmah, if you're familiar with the tree of life structure, perfect. If not, I will not go into details, because if you are partaking in these videos, you should be a little bit more advanced, because this knowledge will be very advanced and not for everybody. So when I was going to Binah, basically the highest feminine sphere and archetype of the tree of life within and outside of myself, I was also going through Gamaliel to face the imbalanced or some unintegrated dark feminine aspects of my own self that I had to heal and I had to interact with, so that I can actually fully embody the energies of Binah. I know it's quite unusual and unorthodox, but that's just how the nature of the left-hand path and going your own path is. And now you are pioneering different things for your own self and potentially for others. So when this was going down, I was kind of intuitively also already aware that something similar will also happen at chokmah, the highest masculine sphere and or polarization of the tree of life. So when I was approaching chokmah, I was working at a facility, and there are people who basically in essence cannot take care of themselves and cannot live normal lives that we usually do without any assistance. And that they independently produce stuff, be it some wood creations and what have not. And I was being there and had basically to take on the role of a caretaker or somebody who assists and in a sense to certain degrees leads people. So I was kind of pushed into a very masculine role, and all when this was going down, I had a certain urge within my own self to get into my own feminine by just starting to create my usual artworks, which are usually not fluffy artworks, but very, I would say, typically what 0815 society would say demonic or dark art, or art that's just basically obscene, or not for everybody. It's just for special few, especially for people who like black metal or rock and roll or what have not. It's just my niche and my thing that I like to do and I like to draw. So very dark stuff. So, but in this workplace, such expressions of these energies are basically, counterproductive, to say the least. And well, let's just say that. And when I was doing that, and of course I did not push this energies or this imagery to anybody there, because these people are quite sensitive. But I know they're quite sensitive, so that these imageries can, not just for these people, but just generally, can potentially cause like psychological harm or trauma and this and that. So I understand, and I saw this also in a sense a part of my own shadow integration too. So in a sense, there was one fateful day where I forgot my backpack there, and where they just, let's just say, they went just through my stuff, and they, of course, that's prohibited, and they went also through my notebook where I usually draw my stuff, and they were like shocked, like, "Ooh, scary shit, demonic, evil shit." And then I was faced with that, and in this moment I had to be, and I was forced to be very vulnerable, actually, in a sense. Like, I felt I had to utilize this moment to be vulnerable and to be real with myself and be real with them, because this art is like expression of my own need to sometimes externalize or reflect with my own inner darkness and monstrosity within, in some sense. Like, it's always for me therapeutic, always like I need to do that. Like, I feel that something inside of me that I love to do and I love to express, and it's many functions by me doing this, actually. And also getting like the shock or the quote unquote negative attention that in certain degree I crave or like I like to see, and this wow moment, so to say. And this, in this regard, it was fulfilled. So like, it was my dark need fulfilled, but I know it was at the wrong place at the wrong time, and I just knew that this was kind of hindering my process of integration of my own inner divine masculine. So like, it was a very dark feminine primordial expression of myself, which kind of prohibited to certain degrees at certain moments to be present, to be more masculine, to be more proactive, to be more embracing of the moment, of serving people, of creating situations that, in another sense, like, I was more so drawn to this side in this moment, and I had to realize, okay, this was kind of, in a sense, blocking my integration of my own more lighter side, more conscious divine masculine, so to say. And it was quite imbalanced. So like, of course, in this phase I was being let go of this place, and it was very, like, in some sense hurtful, but also very relieving, because like I could reflect in this moment with these people what it was. Of course, I kind of find it unfair, and in a sense I served my own justice in some way or another. And yeah, and in this moment when this was happening, when this was going down, I also was realizing a back then relationship, a very close one, um, that I considered, in a sense, quote unquote romantic, wasn't actually also meant for me either. In a sense, like, it was just not in alignment with me. And also, just for a certain period of my time, this connection should have been there, and it has fulfilled its purpose, so to say. And this is going down, of course, I was also heartbroken, and like, I was forced and pulled into a very deep sense of self-reflection and integration, and being more so, in a sense, in a more stoic, masculine mind frame and attention. But first, of course, before I could do that, I had to embrace a huge amount of shadow integration and dissolving certain aspects of darkness or dark energy within that hindered me to be more masculine, so to say. Like, there were certain traumas in place, certain dark energies, certain unconscious, shadowy aspects of my own dark divine feminine from an unhealthy place, which overtook some masculine aspects of myself and blocked it, so to say. And when I realized that, I was like blown away. So the moment I realized that, the moment where everything broke down, I just had this weird realization, this weird moment where I was in my toxic manifestation of my masculinity slash femininity. I was like out of random looking up of my phone and just because of like coping mechanism going through my phone and like scrolling, right? And the first image that I've got was like a lion, and the next one was like a serpent. And then like the first image that intuitively came to me, like from where come this familiar to me? Lion, serpent, serpent, lion. And then like or like or in a sense or it was, I don't know exactly what exactly was, but I'm sure like there was a post that I came up with lion head, and in some weird way in connection to a serpent. And then right after I got like angel, some weird as esoteric post of some angel, and I was like lion, serpent, angel. Something like this cannot be random completely. I don't know why this moment I thought maybe so intuitive reason, but I just knew this wasn't random. So like what type of entity could possibly be that could be correlated to this? And I was, you know, in a sense, finished with my initiation in Gamaliel, and the next was come to Gamaliel was Samael, and some of the aspects of Samael, which is called the venom of God, is called, the line, like the name of Samael is one of the many names of Yalda Beot, so to say. And Yalda Beot is also known as, Samael and Saklas, and some aspects of Samael were the lion-headed angel, or like I just don't exactly know, but like intuitively it just kind of led me to Samael in some weird way and manner. And this synchronicity is just continuously piled up with lion, angel, angel, lion, and Yada Beot, and the venom of God, the dark masculine, the tyrant, the darkness within, the masculine is very under control by his own darkness, by his own feminine, and is imbalanced and toxic and tyrannical. And of course, these are not just the only aspects that these deities embody. And sometimes they are, like, at the end of the day, they are also known to be a part of the adversarial current, the adversary, the opposer, the challenger. Of course, they will have these aspects manifesting within your own self for the purpose that you are challenged, for the purpose that you are, breaking through to certain boundaries through personal challenge, to test of your own true will. And, and through all of this, in a sense, destructive energy and toxicity, you dissolve also false aspects or masks that let you live continuously in their own self-delusions, in their own, inauthenticity, and that leads you to stagnate on a spiritual, magical, and occult path. So, of course, these demonic entities are sometimes also associated with toxic negative traits, quite intentionally so. Not just to only corrupt, but to challenge you. They don't care if you win, they don't care if you lose. They want to test you. They want to really test you. If you are made out of the wood or material that you need to be to embrace these darker and deeper alchemies and sciences. So that's quite intentionally so why the darker path is more challenging, because it does contain forbidden knowledge. And some of it I'm gonna reveal in the second part, but like it just guided me to Samael, and I just intuitively knew when I left this place that I had to slowly start to initiate, like I transition myself through the guidance of Hecate, because Hecate is also known to Heka, and is like a frog-headed god or goddess, I'm not sure, in Egypt, which like jumps, like it has an aspect that can jump things. And through that symbolism or archetype, Hecate has the ability to help you jump spheres in some sense, or it correlates to that a certain degree. And like And not just only that, Hecate is also known to be the goddess of time, and not necessarily time, but like timelines and crossroads and different planes, and like she rules many different planes and realities at the same time. So like it's in her nature also, besides this maybe unknown archetype of her, that she can surely help you transition very quickly into different worlds at the same time. Any like deity who can is associated with crossroads, because crossroads, not literally crossroads, but crossroads in astral and spiritual realms. And yeah, so I started to initiate into Samael, and I started a process of unification of Samael within my own self. So the aspects of Samael within my own self, the husband of Lilith. So I was in a sense completing a internal infernal union within my own self, with my own dark masculine and dark feminine polarity, and consciously integrating these elements within my own self for creating with my own inner shadow a better integration and better consciousness and harmony with my conscious true will. So that's very important. And for these elements to combine, you need to remove and heal and let go of any blockages that hinders this union and this internal black magical alchemy. So it was a huge shadow integration, um, like trauma/nervous system healing, and letting go of so many false masks and ideas about masculinity and femininity. It was just mind bending and mind, of course, expanding in a very good way, for me at least. So this was going down, and this led me to integrate consciously some area of my own self for the purpose so that I can find finally healing of my own divine masculine, also on the lighter side. So because I have removed any issues that unconsciously played in my divine masculine, and have found the divine masculine, the more darker aspects, a union within, so that it doesn't go out of balance, or like out of its own type of balance within my own self, so that it doesn't negatively affect anymore my conscious divine masculine creator will. So because there is a difference, there's a divine dark masculine and divine dark feminine, and also in a sense there's a dark, not a dark, like divine light feminine, divine light masculine, like they're just four different gender expressions and polarizations of our own awareness and soul powers and spirit powers, So that's why you go through this stuff, how it goes through this stuff. And yeah, and I feel that was the first part. And the second part will be more deeply about the initiation into the tunnel of Set of Parphaxitas, where this unification process and this marriage between Summer and Lilith, the black sun and the black moon, is finalized, and what this means for you as a black magician and as somebody who embarks on this black magical or left-hand path journey. Very, very essential, and actually not very much spoken about, or even potentially secret stuff that not many people know in some sense. So, or in that, Naga bless, and we shall see us in the second part. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to Lux Anguis, and I'm here to share the next part of my whole initiation through the sphere of chokmah, and in essence, what has happened there, And before that, I wanted to make you aware of that, especially when you are a more advanced practitioner of the arcane arts or of occultism and of magic. Usually adepts or people who have the responsibility or the means to initiate other people, that they should keep things in order. For example, if you have like studied the symbol of the tree of life, you see like there's each sphere numbered and each pathway numbered that people should supposedly go through in order, which is alright, which is okay. But what am I going with this in essence? Well, my initiations through a tree of life, surprisingly at the end of it, didn't went completely in order. Actually, it completely went even on the other direction as well, for high purposes. So when I started to initiate into chokmah, when I started to initiate the higher principle of the creational forces of the tree of life, because chokmah symbolizes and embodies and the pillar of mercy, the highest principle of the masculine force of the tree of life, of existence. So when this all went down, it illuminated my shadow, which occupied toxically or unnecessarily some aspect of the tree of life. You know, there is such a thing as trauma, there is such a thing as fragmentation, and sometimes your own shadow possessing your conscious awareness because it wants to be seen, it wants to be heard, it wants to be integrated. So when it is not the case, your own shadow, your own fragments of yourself, which you're not aware of yet, want to start to get noticed by possessing some certain unconscious slash conscious aspect of your own self. So when this was going down, I've been mistakenly, painfully been made aware of that some of these aspects has been occupied by these aforementioned things. So yeah, and when this went down, I even had to, it's a very interesting parallel to say the least. As I initiated to Binah, right, I had to initiate also through Gamaliel, through Lilith, to confront my own dark feminine aspects of my own self and feminine wounds, sexual wounds of my own self. And when this was going down, then I traveled again back up to this tree of life, and I was done with this clipothic aspect. My initiation and potentially your initiation can look like, that's it's in connection to the previous topic that I brought up. Can look like that you can even switch different spheres and different polarities depending on your own evolution that you need to go through. And you should be open about it and not so dogmatic or not so like hard worn of following one order and one order only. There's also a difference, for example, but if your own magical will wants to go through order and you've been invited to do something differently and you don't want to do that, then don't do that either. Then follow your own magical will. But if this change of polarity, change of initiation is in perfect alignment and a perfect solution to your own healing integration, then you should follow this instinct and actually make it real. So when I was going down to chokmah, I was then invited to initiate into the clipothic sphere called Samair, or the sphere of Samair, basically, where Adra Melech, the demon of poisons or mental poisons or god poisons, was ruling into. But I've actually been guided to walk through this sphere with the actual god, the demon, and even demiurge called Samair, to walk through this sphere. And if you know it or not, but now you will know if you don't know it, Samael and Lilith are the overall the archdemonic rulers of the whole of the clip-off. You can actually initiate the whole of the clip-off with just these two forces if you wanted to. So because Samael and Lilith literally are like the seed, are the origin of the clip-off, so to say. In certain literature or some mythologies, you can like trace back to it that they both kind of created this, but I'm sure it existed already in different means and forms as well. But these both forces are responsible in this aspect of this matrix to have been the creator of the klipot, so to say. So actually, I've been guided then to work with Samael, the bride, and the husband, you know, or the infernal bride, infernal husband, within my own self, the dark masculine, the dark feminine with my own self, which were back then imbalanced within myself, which has caused me to manifest on my tree of life aspect quite toxically, negatively, and quite self-destructively. So when I was going down to the masculine aspect, I had to also face and integrate my own dark, hurt, and unintegrated masculine, which is Samael in my case. So I've been guided then to initiate to the sphere of Samael and work with the husband of Lilith, Samael. And not just only that, I literally have been guided to quite literally to fuse and merge these soul components with my own self, of this both, Samael and Lilith within my own self. And this caused me to evolve massively in my own understanding of dark magic, magic in general, of how to use clipothic sorcery into your life, in the tree of life, and combine both, integrating Samael and Lilith within your own self creates the infernal union within you, creates, Baphomet within you with the guidance of the archetypic forces of the shadow force of Leviathan. And this, all of this right now is half symbolic language and half archetypical language, and other half is just their actual existing forces as well. So they have their own intelligence as well that you can work with. So integrating Sama and Lilith helps you gain higher states of black magical mastery in higher influence and manifestation through your own dark masculine and feminine into the aspects of the positive life and creation. Only when these two aspects start to work together, be it the light feminine and the dark feminine, the light masculine and dark masculine work together and fuse together as one, you can actually achieve a greater harmony, a greater structure of your own gender polarity, and thus you combine these both creational forces into one. Only through a man and woman you can create a baby, you can create a idea. Only through the conscious subconscious mind working together you can start to influence your own self and your surroundings. Only through that you can actually fulfill your own true will. Only through that you can actually take the steps onto self-deification and self-integration and healing and understanding, greater understanding of the darker or whatever mysteries you want to learn and to uncover for your own self. So when this was happening, I was forced also in my daily life to consciously cut ties from anyone and anything, be it situation wise, be it relationship wise, and some aspect of myself that hindered my process of healing and integrating my own masculinity, my own Samael, It forced me to use all of these sacrificial energies of ultimate release of attachments, to use energies for my own conscious self-deification. If you may have followed some of my pages, you would know how I kind of gave you like some glimpses of it. But yeah, it forced me and it guided me to literally destroy and sacrifice and detach myself from anything and everything which drained my potential, drained my potential of healing and of integration and of expression of my own true authentic masculine aspect in healing, And this had to happen. It was a huge confrontation of anything that kind of hurted this soul component, this aspect of my own self, and which made it shadowy in the first place. So when all of this also went down, back then I was, before all of this, I was initiating as well through the abyss and to Binah. I was then back then in a relationship which was highly connected to my back initiations as well. But this was kind of like a test from the abyss and a test of Lilith herself, I feel, and also a blessing from herself, as I feel too, kind of see if I'm actually ready for the next step. And this will happen to you too, ladies and gentlemen. I know if you really are serious about this evolution of your soul, spirit, and body of flesh, you will be tested and you will get the opportunities to do so, and you must take them. You must be ruthless, impeccable, and willing, and have this vital spirit about your own self that you say, hell yeah, I'm gonna do it. You're gonna take it. You must walk through it. You must say yes to it, and otherwise, um, you really damage, or not damage, but like kind of, the very deep sense, slow down your progress on this path. And when this was going down, that I sacrificed all of these attachments and past things and aspects and resulting shadows opening their potential up, I actually manifested the true love of my life, the true love of my life. And I know it within, and yeah, and quite surprisingly, this now union that I have literally in my life quite literally embodies Lilith. And this, what I want to say to you, when you actually integrate the forces of your own inner masculine, however it may look like, it can be like me, Lilith and Samael. It can be like, I don't know, Adam and Eve. It can be like, what else? What like? Let's just focus on Samael and Lilith, because I'm a left-hand path practitioner and I feel at home with more demonic magic and a negative polarity in general. So let's take Samael and Lilith. If you integrate your own inner feminine and masculine of Samael and Lilith within yourself and find a harmony, this is gonna reflect outside of you too, and you will actually attract, potentially with your own self, a lifelong union with, in my case, Lilith, on your case, maybe Samael, or will attract many opportunities of partners who reflect this dynamic within to further heal it, integrate, and understand it. And now it's all of this, what you're perceiving and seeing and manifesting around you is just a reflection that's already established within you. If you don't have a harmonious inner relationship, a harmonious inner union of your own inner Samuel and Lilith, this is not going to happen outside of you. I'm sorry, you need to work on this. This only happened by me walking through the tree of life, which many black magicians or left-hand path occultists do not do, unfortunately. But I did, and you should do that too. So to heal their own divine masculine, the lighter aspect, and divine feminine, the lighter aspect, you also need to confront Lilith and Samuel, who created some imbalances in them too. That is what I did, that is what I do, and that's what you should do as well. Because I feel like that's just my own personal gnosis or insight understanding. I feel like this kind of also complicates their own potential of like manifesting and maintaining such a union with your own self and with the people around you. So that's the whole teaching of it. That's, if you start to establish this powerful evolutionary dynamic of both genders, of feminine and masculine within your own self, and fuse it and heal it, you can actually start to create and project and manifest heavy types of magic, heavy types of creations, be it projects, be it ideas, be it your dream life, be it your own matrix, be it whatever. But that's a secret. You got to first heal, integrate, and fuse your own inner Lilith and Samael together as one. And that was this whole initiation about chokmah binah for me, and it kind of guided me to initiate into Gamaliel and Samael simultaneously, to exactly understand, integrate this within myself, and this is just one example how it can look like if you are open to listen to your own inner higher self, in your own inner diamond. That's this structured initiation potentially not always could be of your own highest good and benefit either, you know what I mean? But you, at the end of the day, you must listen to your own self first before anything else, before doing any deep decisions like I did. You know, do some divination, listen to your own inner daimon or your own inner higher self, or might there are soul components before you do such a drastic initiatory decision to switching polarities and initiations. Because let me tell you, it was anything than easy. Anything than easy. The hardship, the chaos, the confrontation of your own shadow, of your own hurt, of your own adversaries, also from other people, it's immense. Let me tell you this, it's immense. And after that, of course, I had to perform the tunnel of Set initiation too. The tunnel of Set, which combines Samael and Gamaliel, Lilith and Samael, is Parphaxitas. And that's literally the tunnel where the moon and the black sun unite together as one. It's so fucking heavy, and I'm gonna tell you right now a secret, or like not really a secret, but people who stick around and who actually pay attention, they're gonna win now. I feel, and when I went through this initiation and fused Tamara and Lilith together, it's very similar to the principle of the 22 pathways of wisdom in the tree of life. You gotta also do that in a clipboard, in a tree of death as well. And the Parphaxitas connects the two aspects of Gamaliel and Samael together and merge it into one, literally. And now Parphaxitas is the energetic initiation of combining your own conscious will of your own dark masculine with the unconscious womb of the subconsciousness of the divine dark feminine. What does symbolically happen? I was kind of stuck in this initiation because at certain point I was so focused upon projecting my own will, projecting my own my own magical will in whatever ritual. Is like I want to have a powerful darker flame. I want to have a better developed psychic senses. I am becoming better in astral projection, or all of these goodies we practice rituals for. And I always did this only like with my masculine mind to project this will into reality. But the other part that missed was the conscious creation, or the conscious womb phase of this. What I mean by that, all while you make your own incantations of like contemplative in a kind of matter amongst like a prayer, for example, like I know it's kind of out of nowhere Latin incantation, what have you. But like if you make a prayer, if you are kind of repeating your own affirmation of will, open up your own inner womb space, in your own mind, in your own soul, in your spirit, in your heart. Open up the womb space, open up the dark feminine within, open up image, open up creation with your own self. You speak this will in a ritual, and you take this into image. You translate it into image. You translate it into creation within your own self. You literally become pregnant with your will. You kind of penetrate your own self, your own subconscious with your will, and you can make it stronger when you are consciously seeing and visualizing how this can look like. How does this feel like? What are this, all while you're using your own masculine principle of projecting your own true will, you're also using your dark feminine principle of using this will and translating it into image at the same time. And this was the thing. I was at one point, because I also go, study, and I study a lot for my own future workplace. It's like a school that I'm going, but like this tunnel initiation drained me so much of my own energy, of my own misdirected energy that I had back then. Like, it drained me so much of my own energy. I was forced to literally shut down in middle of class and kind of close my eyes and start to meditate out of nowhere, because what this initiatory force of Parfaxtas wanted me to do is to consciously visualize me going through this tunnel, me integrating these energies, me integrating these essences within my own self in image, in feeling, in image, like a woman. The woman fears, the woman imagines. It forced me to do this. Like, I was literally so much drained of my energy, I could not, put in any more willpower, any more strength into it. I was kind of forced to resignate, to be passive, and to let my own inner feminine speak into image within my own self, to see with my own eye how this looks like. Now, how does it looks like me going through this tunnel, me fusing these essences within my own soul and spirit? How, it kind of, but the point is, I don't even do it consciously. I don't even sit down and must think about it. No, you kind of sit back and you let your own subconscious mind speak. You just let these images come up and you just go with them. You don't try to manipulate them. You don't, otherwise, not, you only manipulate them if you kind of are guided to do that. But like, usually when you're in this process, images come from alone and come from alone. They're guided to a certain place. They're guided through literal conscious to unconscious transformation at the time it's happening. You must let your inner woman, you must let your inner womb, you must let your own inner Lilith speak. Let her create. All while you're projecting with your Samael the will, the affirmation. And it's a natural process. That's why it's important when you are doing rituals, that you let your own subconscious be open and translate these things into image. Let images come up. Let it see how it looks like, how your will looks like, how your energy looks like. And there you have it, your dark demon that Lilith and Samael births. You know, right, that Lilith and Samael had, quote unquote, these symbolic copulations with each other to create 5,000 demons. There might as well be fucking spares. Doesn't make sense now. All of this is highly arcane, dark, symbolic language. The thing that happened actually, they just combined their own inner masculine and feminine and create babies. They created spares. They created their demons, the dark spares. That's the perfect sorcery. Use the dark energy to create and manifest your spares. You use Lilith and somewhere within to manifest these spares. And these spares are the babies that Summer and Lilith within you creates. Telling you. I just love doing my work, honestly. I just love it. That's of course, besides all of this chaos and bullshit and what have not you go through, that really fulfills my heart and soul and spirit to teach you this. Dear beloved ladies and gentlemen, dear beloved initiates. Learn, be open, initiate. Don't cut yourself short by only pursuing surface type shit. So you can uncover these secrets with your own self. You don't even need to fucking read a book. You can just literally go down a spiritual pathway, be receptive enough, and can learn this shit without any fucking book. That's the crazy part of it. I have come to uncover this without any fucking book. Of course, I had the informations and this and that, but like this secret, I was like, mind blown. You know what I mean? And this can also happen to you too if you take such things very seriously at some point on your own path. So yeah, I think this secret, or like this gnosis that I've received through these whole trials and tribulations, me sharing this with you helped you a lot. I think it did. Other than that, Naga bless, and we surely see and hear us again.